Is there a particular food or drink item from your past that you think about maybe a little too often? Like, instead of hearing your wife's heartfelt wedding vows, you're thinking about an ice cold ecto cooler. Look, we've all been there. And while we can't control when the nostalgia wave hits us, we have been able to revisit some of our favorite snacks in the 90s thanks to our generation growing up and getting big, important executive jobs and bringing back some of the classics. Look, we can sit here all day and wax nostalgic about our favorite discontinued snack items from the 90s. And I'm not above once again calling out the Planters Corporation for still not addressing our cries to bring back PB Crisp.
What are you afraid of, you cowards?
But today I'd like to introduce a very iconic yet often overlooked drink from the 90s. Hailing all the way from British Columbia, Canada, please welcome Clearly Canadian.
Yippee!
It's so beautiful. Launching in 1988, Clearly Canadian was introduced as a sort of new age alternative to soda. Throughout the 90s, the beverage market was filled with what felt like unlimited choices. Want a drink based on cartoon characters that used to hawk Winston cigarettes in 1961? Well, here, enjoy Flintstones Soda. Or maybe you got more of a laid back vibe and you want to drink a little sobe. Or sobe? Sobe. I don't know how to pronounce it. That light pink milk looking one that surprisingly doesn't taste like Pepto-Bismol. Of course, there was a wide variety of sodas that you could choose from. You know the standards like Crystal Pepsi, Surge, Slice, and DNL, aka 7-Up with the logo upside down. Genius! With the rise of diet fads in the 90s like Slim Fast, Atkins, and the cabbage soup diet. Real. Look it up. Many health-conscious consumers were gravitating to more healthy alternatives. And Clearly Canadian was seen as a beverage that could potentially fill that void, until you saw that the sugar content was roughly the same as a can of soda. Sugar sweetness aside, Clearly Canadian won its fans over with simple flavors. None of this bubblegum-flavored soda or neo-noir beverage aimed at Generation X. No, Clearly Canadian gave you wild cherry, orchard peach, mountain blackberry, and country raspberry. No gimmicks or in-your-face attitude that was so prevalent in the 90s. So goddamn good. The most unique feature would be its bottle design. Teardrop shape, the clear, blue-tinged glass, and the minimal design that evokes feelings of pure, clean, refreshing, delicious water from a mountain stream. I need to drink it again. God, I missed this. The shape was probably one of the most important features, according to founder Donald Mason. Being a huge baseball fan, he wanted the bottle to feel like you were holding a ball in your hand. You know what? He's right. Now turn your head and cough. Clearly Canadian cemented its popularity during the 90s as a product placement in some of the biggest shows of the decade, like Friends, Sex and the City, and Seinfeld. As if I needed another reason to love Elaine.
Ah, really?
It seemed that Clearly Canadian was on the path to mega success, and for a while they were, taking in an 18% share of the beverage market. But through a series of management decisions like including 14 different flavors, new formulas like Clearly Tea, a lightly carbonated iced tea, that doesn't sound good, and spreading the brand too far too fast, Clearly Canadian officially ceased production in 2009. Wait, what am I doing? No, they're back. Their story didn't end there. In 2015, an Indiegogo campaign was launched in an effort to bring back the beloved drink. With over 14,000 backers and $750,000 worth of pre-sold cases, Clearly Canadian began production again. We did it. We did it. Internet, we did it. We brought it. In the age of the internet, it's hard not to feel nostalgic about these things that we grew up with. Whether TV shows, movies, or snack items, we find ourselves clinging to these memories and how they made us feel. My introduction to Clearly Canadian was from the guy at the gas station. He had one ear. I was little, it freaked me out. He said the drink was going to be the next big thing. At least that's what he heard through his one ear. I don't think he really only had one ear, and if he did, thank you, one-eared gas station worker. For over 20 years, I have thought about this drink, that one-eared man, and the memories of buying Clearly Canadian for sleepovers while me and my friends played Jurassic Park on the Sega Genesis. And now that it's been back for a few years and I've recently purchased some, I've got to say, it's just how I remember. It's so good. Do yourself a favor and pick yourself some up. That's going to do it for this episode of I Miss the 90s. I really appreciate you stopping by. If you like what you see and you want to follow along on this journey of going through the 90s, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you would like to get these episodes early, you can subscribe to my Patreon. Link is in the description below. Until next time, my dudes, I'm Mike O'Connor. Cool later. I could bathe in this shit.